lot of times they publish things criticizing what's going on. So Sir Thomas More, the Englishman, he writes a book called Utopia, where he criticizes contemporary British society, complaining about the corruption of the church, the corruption of government. This is what it should look like. Erasmus points out other flaws and tries to fix things. One problem, this is actually a place where these Christian humanists did sometimes run afoul of the Catholic Church. One belief that these guys had was that the Bible needed to be more accessible. Not necessarily that every man, woman, and child would need to be able to read this, but Erasmus recognized the Bible needs to be more accessible. That there are problems with the Latin. By the time you get to the year 1500, and Erasmus is looking at the Bible in the year 1500, you've got one Latin Bible over here that says something, and another Latin Bible over here. It's supposed to be the same book, and there's slight variations on it. Well, the reason that there's slight variations, if you guys have ever played telephone, one person says something into another person's ear, who says it into another person's ear, says it into another person's ear. By the time you get to the end of the line, the message will have changed. So you have 1,500 years of the Bible is taken by some monk, is copied by hand, and sent off to somewhere else. That next version of the Bible is taken by someone, copied by hand, and sent off to someone else. That next version, taken by hand, copied, sent off to someone else. So over time, what is in the Latin Bible has been distorted, has changed, has been altered, has been tweaked. And so Erasmus starts looking at this question of, well, what does the Bible actually say? So in 1516, being the humanist that he is, he decides to recreate the original Greek Bible. So the original Bible, Old Testament was written in Hebrews. The New Testament was written in Greek. The book of Hebrews was written in Aramaic, 3 languages for the original Bible. When it was eventually compiled in about the year 300 AD, 350 AD, it was originally compiled entirely in the language of Greek. And then a couple hundred years after that, translated into Latin, or 100 years after that, 50 years after that, translated into Latin, and that's what eventually descended to Erasmus. Erasmus decides to go back, take all of the earliest scraps of the Greek Bible that he can from all across Europe and the Middle East, and starts comparing them. And if all of them agree that a certain passage says one thing, except for like this copy out in Ireland, then he's going to disregard that passage in the Irish copy. And if they all agree on another passage, except this one passage that's used in Turkey, then he's going to assume that on that passage the Turkish copy is not right. So once he goes through and he does this, he's able to republish the Bible in Greek. That is the 1516 Septuagint. Okay? Now, when people start talking about translating the Bible from whatever language into German, Martin Luther, or into English, William Tyndale, that's the Bible that they're using. But Erasmus made it available for all of these translators to be able to use. So guys, we're going to start here tomorrow.